What's up? This is BreakmanX, and welcome to the game show on March 18th, 2026. How's it going, Jack?
It's going great. It is March Madness, man.
So, of the all-time fly-in pop-ins, I literally looked up there at the control room screen, which is above me, the second before, and you weren't there, and then like, vroom, like Master Chief, like, but you can't stick it, like, boom, just like appears. So that was very nice. That was flawless.
I've been working on my dramatic timing.
It was dramatic.
I'm glad it paid off.
It was dramatic. It was great. And Jess, how are you doing this evening?
I am doing all right. I had some super fun car stuff this week that I was dealing with. So
that almost sounds like it's not fun.
You know, and it's 90 degrees out here in LA, and the tow truck couldn't fit in the parking garage, and so we had to like push the car out in neutral, and it was a whole nightmare.
Yeah, car issues suck out there too because there's like no room for anything. Yeah, I remember those. Well, I'm sorry, that sucks. My empathy towards you, I've been through that. But Logan, how are you doing this evening?
Yeah, doing great. Look, I'm coming off of a fantastic film set in Kansas City this week. Met a lot of awesome people, and then there's been trailers for movies coming out that I'm hyped about. Both the Dune and the Spider-Man trailer were peak. But yeah, also like Jess, I've had fun car stuff this week. Some of it actually was fun.
I'm glad some of it was fun.
Yeah, I got like a piece that I've been trying to find, like a rare piece that I've been needing to replace on my car. And finally one popped up on eBay and I put it in. It looks great, which is good. Nice. But also I've been having a lot of trouble sourcing parts for some body shop work that needs to happen. So that's been the non-fun part. But we're getting there.
I'm glad that we're getting there. Very nice. Well, I'm just pointing out, I'm wearing my Wi-Fi Film Festival shirt. You should come out April 11th. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got some really great guests. I'll probably talk about it in shows to come. But what I really want to talk about tonight is the return of Johnny Grafx, which is super exciting. Our first return, our first return guest. Welcome back. Johnny Grafx explores weird and underrated obscurities from the golden age of video games, and as he would put it, he's pretty okay at it. So check out his YouTube channel where he has some really great videos, not only on PC Engine and TurboGrafx 16 stuff, which is great, but some of his favorite from other retro consoles and even some modern ones. And Johnny is also a skilled voiceover professional. So,
well, I appreciate that intro. And thanks for having me back. I've been watching. I haven't caught every single episode, but I've caught most of them. And this is a show I really enjoy, so it's fun to be back on.
You're way too kind, man. You're way too kind.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
we really appreciate
you wanted
that.
to come back.
Yeah, didn't scare you away.
No, not quite. Not quite. Maybe this time though.
We'll see. We'll do our best. But yeah, Johnny Grafx been on his podcast a couple times, which is a lot of fun. And his video, or the reason this whole thing got started was because I really like the videos on his channel. There's really, of course, excellent production, but the content really is what draws me in. So if you haven't checked out Johnny Grafx, definitely check out Johnny Grafx.
Yeah, give it a watch
for sure. But let's get into, before we get into the meat of the episode here, let's get into Jack Burton's quick news zone. And Johnny, feel free to chime in with anything that you would like to chime into.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, so let's start off. Big week this week with GDC. I think the biggest news everybody's talking about online is the new NVIDIA DLSS 5.
Unanimously loved by all.
Yeah. I think they had to have Bethesda come out and try to do some damage control for them. It's pretty rough out there. I don't know who all has seen it, but they unveiled DLSS 5, which supposedly is putting like direct lighting. NVIDIA's words is like putting direct lighting on a lot of like characters' faces. Think of it as like an Instagram AI like filter.
Pretty much
for all the characters.
That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, it's like the number one thing I think they were showing off was Resident Evil Requiem, which is like the first game that's going to be supporting it. And they showed a picture of Grace Ashcroft, one of the main characters in the game, before and after, and it looks like completely just. It looks like a completely different person. It doesn't capture any of the personality of her. It looks really weird. And so there's a lot of online discussion. Like people, they were getting hammered online. And what was really surprising was seeing, what was it? It was, I'm sorry. I completely forgot the,
Digital Foundry?
Yes, Digital Foundry was like carrying water for him. I was just like, guys,
there's more to that. There's some interesting things with that. Actually, we can talk about. This is an interesting.
Yeah, go ahead.
So when I first saw the image, I didn't have like my contacts or my glasses in. And I saw it from a distance. And so from a distance, it just looked like the lighting had improved. And that's what I was reading. Like, oh, the lighting was improved. And I was like, oh wow, that looks great, or it looks good. And then I was able to see it, and I was like, holy crap, that is like exactly what I don't want in video games. Like, that is literally taking the game and then like taking the art director out in the back and like shooting them and being like, thanks for your work, but no, I mean, it just it's really terrible, and it's bringing in all of the generative AI. Use DLSS is great. Like, use it to upscale and to do all the things that it's done previously, but like completely changing the way a character looks is baffling to me.
Yeah. It's not improving it, or it is adding detail, I guess, also. But like you said, it fundamentally changes how people look. Like, there's one image where the style of coat they're wearing, like the fabric and even the color of it is just changed. It's just different. And it's like, at what point did the artist sign off on this? Probably not with the original one. It's just, what's the point? Like, I don't know. We could go on. I could go on forever on this. Like,
I think it's okay to go because it's a pretty big news bit. So I think we can hit it for a little bit. And I will say, I don't know if did you see John Linneman's Blue Sky?
No, I didn't.
I haven't seen that.
So he had a pretty. He deleted it, but he had a pretty fiery comment about Digital Foundry's, his own company's video about it. And there's you can see it on Reddit if you want to still. But I think his response was more in line with what you would have expected. And he basically said he was completely unaware of the video that was going to come out from them about the DLSS. And like, he didn't agree with it and used some potentially more intense language and about it, and then deleted it, like I said. But the video, their video, where it was like, which one would you like to play, and showed the two different ones, and it's like, you'd obviously want to play this one, the DLSS one. That was the video that really, or the part of the video that really kind of irked me.
Yeah, it's a bad precedent to set, because like with all things with AI, the real horror lies in imagining where it could go 5-6 years from now. Yeah, like, we're just looking at the tip of the iceberg, and it's already just baffling and horrible. And once it gets, some of these studios who have been looking to get rid of their artists, they're looking at their staff of all these people that are making 6 figures or nearly 6 figures. They're paying them California money or whatever, and they've been licking their chops trying to get rid of these people for decades, some of these studios. And now they've got a way to do it, or at least they think they do.
I don't think they're just going to work out for them, but I do think I agree with you completely that they think that they do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This is, and it's a symptom of a lot of things, but I think one of the things that I can't ignore is it's a symptom of this notion that every year we have to have a new thing. Every year it has to be bigger and better and more detailed. And if we can't think of anything that actually makes sense, then we'll do something that doesn't make sense, because we have to do something. We have to always just do something. There has to be a new phone. There has to be a new computer. There has to be a new TV. And the one you have that's 10 years old might be fine, but there still has to be new ones every year. Yeah. And we have to invent reasons to justify the existence of new things.
More
even though
profit.
In a lot of areas, a lot of these companies don't want to admit it, but in a lot of areas, technology has kind of plateaued. It just kind of has. If you play The Last of Us, and I'm not even talking the remake, I'm not even talking the remaster on PS4, the original PS3 The Last of Us, it still looks good.
Yep.
It looks good. It's over 10 years old. And if you took a screenshot of that PS3 game and showed it to the average gamer and told him it was a modern PS5 game, I would bet you $1,000 that the average gamer would accept it without question. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, look at all the hairs on his chin, and look how the lighting is. Look at the shadows, and
For sure.
it looks good."
Yeah,
like, games
for sure.
couldn't have- like The Last of Us 2, even like I think that came out in what 2020. I was playing that the other day. Like it's fantastic looking. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's this incorrect notion that we have to always improve and always have a new thing and exponentially grow all the time.
All the
Otherwise,
time.
we're somehow failing. It's just it's wrong-headed, and I think we're heading in a weird direction where we're constantly gimmicking ourselves out of just enjoying things as they are for a little bit. God forbid.
I'm with you 100% with that for sure. And I I've always been more about like the art direction over the like what the technology is for the particular game, and
especially now that you can do everything you want anyway.
Yeah.
Like you can do any art direction you can think of. You can do it.
And you don't even have to think of it. You could just tell some AI to think of it too. Be like,
Right, and they'll take someone else's.
They'll take someone else's, so you can have it think of someone else's thing for you.
Like, hey, I know half the world doesn't have clean drinking water right now, but I need to generate AI videos of Mike Tyson fighting Mother Teresa. I'm sorry.
Clean water,
That's our priorities.
Yep,
I think
that is.
I think my biggest not hang up, but one of my bigger concerns with this is like the DLSS, like the actual DLSS product, like the upscaling that it does is phenomenal. Like DLSS 4, 5 or 4.5 is awesome. Like it does great stuff. And for them to take that name, that product name, and just throw it into the mud is really baffling.
Yeah, this doesn't really feel like an evolution of what DLSS has been up to this point.
Right.
It's confusing.
It's a different thing entirely, isn't it?
Yeah.
They should have called it something different and not DLSS.
It's like,
You're
well,
right.
Everyone's really liked all the Copilot and AI stuff Microsoft has thrown in people's faces, so they're gonna love this.
Yes. NVIDIA has. I mean, like most of their business now is AI. So they had to throw something in there. I'm shocked that this is what they thought was a good idea.
It also seems like they've thrown it together really fast, because what I've heard is that they basically just got to work very 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 last minute right before their presentation, and it was so unoptimized that they had to run it on two RTX 5090s just to get the demo that they showed.
What's that tell you?
Yeah.
Just 25090s. What's that, like 1100 watts?
Yeah, something like that.
Jeez. I mean, it's 650 for, it's 750, I think, minimum for my 37 or 5070 Ti, which I finally upgraded after years and years and years. So for 25090s, it's got to be up there.
So
Small village power.
They not only have created something that is just not that it's not resonating with people, and they should have known better than to promote it the way that they have been, but also they have showed it off and just like thrown it out there in a state that it's probably just not even it's not even really useful to anybody right now.
Yeah, and I don't know. It just seems so tone deaf to me, because if you look at any of the comments from any of the social media posts about it, I have not seen a single positive one. And they probably exist, but I did not see any.
Right.
Yeah.
To call it divisive is being charitable.
Yeah. No, agreed.
For sure.
But yeah, it is. I don't know. We'll see what happens. My guess is they're going to backpedal on that pretty hard real quick. But
You think? I hope so.
I hope so. I mean, I cannot believe they would again sully the name of DLSS by moving forward with this thing, and also putting this letting Capcom letting them use the Resident Evil, like their best selling Resident Evil game of all time. I mean, like so
Do
far,
you think
their quickest selling one, dragging that thing through the mud just
Do
make
you
this point in the demo.
Do you think, and I'm just maybe being wishful thinking here because I like Capcom, they're like, hey, Capcom, so we've got this really cool new technology coming out, DLSS 5. We can't tell you anything about it because it's NDA'd up the wazoo, but we'd really like to feature Resident Evil Requiem and what DLSS 5 can do. Would you be okay with us doing that? I mean, to me, that's a pretty good pitch because you wouldn't expect it. They didn't call it like super terrible AI like 1.0. It was DLSS, something that we know and love, 5.0, right?
Yeah.
So I could see, I mean, again, this is, I'm not basing this on credible evidence. I'm basing this on the fact that I like Capcom and Resident Evil and hoping that, they're not giving into this. But I just can see a world where that's a pitch.
Yeah.
They had to have known, right? There's no way that they would have let this go as far as it has without somebody at Capcom signing off on it. Right?
I think so. I'm just hoping it's not anyone that hopefully it's some executive somewhere and not the creative team is what I'm just I'm grasping for hope.
Creative people,
the creative team would have been like, what?
No. What?
Yeah, the creative people are probably all pulling their hair out right now.
Yeah.
It's that whole AI thing where it takes like the mean, it's the average of everything. And gives you like that face that is the average face of all the amalgamation of everything that is taken and completely taken away the uniqueness of the face, because that's part of the character. I mean, the way the face is designed, and a lot of times it's related to the voice actor or the mocap too.
Yeah.
So it's taking all the humanity out, which I will go to my dying day. Humanity to me is what we connect with and all this stuff, whatever art form it is. And when you remove the humanity of it by just completely diving into the AI pool, I think you're going to lose your audience. I mean, I think obviously there's a moral argument for it. Obviously there's an artistic argument for it, but I think there's actually a financial argument too, because I think that ultimately they're going to lose people.
I mean, keep an eye on NVIDIA's stock, I guess. That's the thing that they'll pay the most attention to. If the stock dips, then you might see some sort of reversal.
Let's see. Oh, it's down. Not much.
I mean, I got stock. I should just go ahead and sell it. To hell with it.
It is down. It's down. It's down like a little bit. And it's down like 4% this month. So that's not good.
Yeah. I mean, they've been kind of teetering on the edge of public scrutiny for a while now, because I think they got really intertwined with a lot of these data centers that are super unpopular as well.
Yeah.
Them and Corsair as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of these companies are sort of dealing with a little bit of backlash. So this is going to magnify it for NVIDIA. So hopefully it hits them where it hurts, and they can have a little come to Jesus moment. Maybe we'll see.
It's true. I want to bring in here our audience here. So Fenris Wolf Retro, who's glad to see you on the chat there again after a little bit. It's wonderful to see you back. But he says this will be fun. The only madness going on right now in March is the weather. It's been roasting, so you must maybe be close to California. I don't know. He also says, welcome back to the show, Johnny Graphics. Been watching your stuff to buff out my TurboGrafx 16 PC Engine library. It's a great place to do it. For sure.
I mean, I haven't covered every single game worth talking about yet, but I'm pretty close. I've talked about just about all of them. So definitely, that's a place to start, if nothing else.
And he agrees with your divisive comment. That's disingenuous at best. Nobody approves of this. And if anyone wants to write in, you can do so right below here on the YouTube. I do read them during the week, and I will comment on them. You can also go to BreakmanX.com and join in on the Discord and chat with us during the week and talk about all the other things that we're always right about, especially Jack. Jack's always right.
Jack is always right, never wrong.
I'm just putting pressure on you so they can put comments in below.
Yeah, let's go with that. I'm always right.
There you go. I'll take that.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue on with the. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna. Well, no, we'll come back to it. We'll come back. So anyway, next news topic, a little more brighter in nature. Starfield is officially coming to the PS5 next month, along with some major updates. Sounds like they're finally going to give people free flight. I think they're calling it like free lanes or something like that. So anybody on the PS5 that never got a chance to pick up Starfield and wants to check it out, hey, you're finally going to get a chance to do it, along with some new features. So good for Bethesda. You knew this was coming at some point, but good to see it's finally out.
3 lanes. What is that? What is that? What are we talking about?
So basically, they're talking about one of the biggest gripes that I had, and a lot of people online had with Starfield, was that you couldn't really free fly anywhere. It was like, it was just, you go to whichever planet you're going to go to, and that's kind of it.
Oh, that's right.
It was all like autopilot, and so now this is like, hey, you're going to actually be able to fly the ship yourself.
Which is the thing that I thought was going to be cool about it, because I don't know, like the idea that you can just fly anywhere in space and like Star Trek it up, like that would be pretty cool.
Yep, exactly. But nope, it's like what you got in the original version was just kind of go here and autopilot, and while you're flying, you can talk to your crew members. It's like, all right, cool, we'll Mass Effect it up, but in a Bethesda type of way.
Yeah, hopefully it works at launch.
I mean, they've had quite a while to work on it, so we'll see.
They have. I mean,
it's been a few years.
It's Bethesda though.
Yeah, it's true.
So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. I'm happy for people that are happy about it. It's not my type of game, but it's ambitious, and I have a lot of respect for it. I'm happy that people are happy about it.
Yeah, I never did finish it. I actually didn't even get that far into it. I got through the opening where it's like you kind of find out what the nature of your specialness is to the universe, and then they plop you in the big city, and it's just like, oh god, what do I do? Where do I go? And it's just like that free roam paralysis where it's like, there's so much to do. Where do I start?
Right. That's what kills me about games like that. Like, I don't even know where to begin. I just look around and I walk around and talk to people, and before I realize it, 6 hours have gone by and I have to go to bed.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
But I get it. I get the appeal for sure.
100%. But yeah, I didn't have time for it, and I moved on to the next thing. So,
right.
Oh well. But no, other than that, let's see. PSSR 2 is now out for PS5 Pro owners. So if you are one of the people that has a PS5 Pro, you can now get the new version of PSSR, which is their upscaling technology, which is sort of like DLSS and some of those other similar upscaling techniques using generative frames.
It's
so
supposedly pretty good. From what I saw from the Digital Foundry stuff, it's pretty effective, the new version. So I don't have a PS5 Pro. I'm kind of going PC this round, I think, for my high-end device. But Logan's over there. But yeah, it'd be fun to, if I ever got a chance to check it out, I would love to check out what it looks like.
It's an investment. I mean, a PS5 Pro is like $700 or so after taxes, and then you got to get the disk drive if you're me. I
think it's more like $750 now.
Yeah, so I mean, it's up there. But if you look at some of the gaming PCs, they're getting up to like $2,000 now. Some of these pre-built PCs.
Yeah, the RAM and storage is. It's not the best time to get a PC.
No, it's really not. Yeah, as expensive as consoles are,
if you're looking at
there's an appeal.
If you're looking at getting any NVMe, like you might want to look now before it really jacks up, because there's on that storage website, which if you just Google like lowest price per gigabyte storage, there's a whole website that lists it like a spreadsheet. There was a few amazing deals I saw this week. I actually snapped up a 2 terabyte drive because I know in like a month I'm not going to be able to. Yeah. And but like I'm talking like, I think it was sub 300 for 2 terabyte NVMe.
Whoa.
Yeah, which like is ridiculous. That's what it was back in the old times before the Empire.
Yes, back in the before times.
Yeah.
I was channeling Obi-Wan there, but I think it's appropriate.
I think it is. Yeah. So next item of news is actually another cool one. So the Switch 2 just got a firmware update, and one of the cool features on this new one is that it lets you run Switch 1 games in docked mode for better performance when you're on the Switch, whenever you're on your Switch 2. So you're on your Switch 2, even if you're on the go, it will overclock if you're playing a Switch 1 game, you can let it overclock so it gets the performance that it would have if you were playing it on a TV in docked mode on the Switch 1.
I like this.
That's a really smart move by Nintendo to do that.
So Switch 2 portable is the equivalent of Switch 1 docked? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, at least for what Nintendo is going to allow.
That's cool. That makes sense. I like that.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Been kind of hoping for that they would eventually do that, and I'm glad that they're doing as much Switch 1 support as they are. A lot of it they don't even talk about, but if you play a lot of the Switch 1 games on Switch 2, there's a pretty noticeable improvement in performance. It's very much like upgrading your PC.
Yeah.
Like that's what it feels like.
Yeah. It is a lot like that. I'm still really holding out hope for the new Rhythm Heaven game. Like that still hasn't come out yet. And that's like the last, I think that's going to be like the last Switch 1 game from Nintendo whenever it comes out. So I'm cautiously optimistic that thing is going to be another amazing game.
Go on a high note.
Yeah, exactly. In other Capcom related news, the Saudi royal family now owns 10% of Capcom. They had already owned 5% through one of their sovereign investment funds, but apparently the Crown Prince himself bought another 5% earlier this week. So, just getting their hands into more video game stuff like SNK.
That's why they did DLSS 5. Not really.
Maybe, I don't know, but yeah, it just for those of you out there that are concerned about just the ethics or
or lack thereof.
So
I don't mean to laugh.
Some of your favorite video game companies. Now, granted, like Capcom doesn't really have any control over who buys their stock if it's publicly traded or not. But yes, it's still not. If you look at what they've done with SNK, I mean, yeah, they've put out some more like new Metal Slug stuff. They put out terrible Mark of the Wolves follow up. So it's a mixed bag, but just not great.
Yeah,
I don't want to associate Bonesaws with video games unless it's Doom or something.
I mean, you can buy stuff secondhand, and then your money goes to the original buyer as opposed to, Citibank or whoever owns everything at whatever time that is.
Very true.
So that's always a route,
Yep.
And you can do the opposite for companies that aren't doing business that way. So, not the economic system I would have designed, but we're in this one.
Right.
So,
right.
Be as informed as a consumer as you can possibly be.
Right.
Everything is perfect. But the Saudi, why does it have to be Capcom? Capcom has been one of like the shining lights of the old developers that was still doing well. Their games are still great.
Yeah. That's your answer. Asked and answered.
Yeah,
that's
there
why.
you go.
That's why.
There you go.
And I'm pretty sure the Crown Prince likes fighting games, which
and golf apparently they have golf. They own all golf
and
now.
the WWE, and I'm sure at some point EA. They now own part of EA.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So
And
guess they don't like us.
It's probably. Until it's not. But at this point, it's probably hands off. We're just going to buy this thing that makes money and then sit back and collect money because we bought the money.
Hopefully.
That's probably what it's mostly going to be.
I'm sure that's all it is, but still, it's just.
Did you hear the other kind of troubling Capcom news about the Mega Man voice actor is no longer voicing Mega Man because Capcom is refusing to utilize union contracts?
I did not see that.
That's also pretty not good. Pretty bad. That's equally bad to me, if not worse, actually, than this.
Yeah.
It fits in. Yeah.
the Tetra node or whatever came down, and
that's the long piece right there.
It's just like, I see.
Clear, evil, clear.
Everything's ruined.
This is my favorite news of the year. My favorite news segment. This is fun.
Man.
Even though it's
Support
awful.
indie games. That's all I can say.
Yes.
Support indie games.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep, for sure.
All right, and last piece of news I've got this week. This is a kind of a wild one. I don't know, Logan, you may have been clued into this since you're a big Subnautica fan, but apparently a federal judge reinstated the former Subnautica 2 developer CEO.
That's been wild.
Yeah, so apparently he and two other like co-founders of the studio were owed something like $250 million each or combined when Subnautica 2 hit early access. And so Crafton, the owners of, or the publishers and owners of the development studio, basically asked ChatGPT, hey, how do we get out of paying these guys $250 million when this thing goes to early access? And it basically spit out something that said, here's what you can do. So they hatched a scheme around that to basically get all 3 of these guys fired. And so it was the CEO, I want to say the COO, or maybe the creative designer. All 3 of them. Well, one of the guys was off making movies or something, and one of the other guys I think didn't really have much of a hands-on role, but the CEO really did. And I guess he took Crafton to court, and the judge was like, "Oh no! Like you documented your criminal schemes, so like you get reinstated." They're pushing out the interim CEO that they put in from another studio. It's kind of wild, and I guess the judge said, hey, like you have this window to hit early. Like if you hit the early access date within this window, then you are still owed the money from Crafton for doing that. That was in the original contract. And oh, by the way, because all this stuff disrupted everything, I'm gonna put a provision in that says, if you need it, there's another 6-month extension I will give you so you can get this out into early access and make your money. That was guaranteed. So I was just like,
that's wild.
That
is wild.
Crazy.
ChatGPT, how do I fire this person?
Yeah.
It goes even deeper than just the CEO though. Like everybody at the studio was owed a bonus if they could achieve a certain like threshold of profitability, and Crafton delayed the early access in such a way that it would have prevented them from reaching that point.
Yeah.
And so they were all upset about not getting like the entire studio a bonus either. Like it's been a terrible mess. And these developers did not deserve it in the slightest. I'm so excited for what they make with Subnautica 2, and I'm just sad that Crafton is doing this to them.
Yeah. I mean, it's like,
not a fan.
Have you worked with Crafton before?
They were bought by Crafton or something in between Below Zero and Subnautica 2.
Yeah. But yeah, it just a completely wild story. I don't think we've heard the end of that one, but I'm really interested in seeing when Subnautica 2 comes out in early access, and also how well it does, because that could trigger some really crazy stuff over there.
Yeah.
Am I insane, or I thought Subnautica 2 already came out?
No, they made a standalone DLC for Subnautica 1 called Below Zero. It's set on the same world, so it uses like fundamentally the same engine, similar mechanics with like some expansions. Whereas Subnautica 2, new engine, they moved over to Unreal. I think it might even be a new planet. And like, so they've actually called this one Subnautica 2 as opposed to like considering the other one a standalone DLC.
Okay, so that was like a standalone expansion.
Yeah.
Okay, I get those mixed up with sequels because fundamentally there isn't a big difference in my mind, but I guess it's, if you're switching engines and switching worlds and everything, then yeah, that's more of like a break, I guess. Okay, cool.
Hit up the chat here really quick. We got some more coming in here. So Fenris Wolf Retro says hit or miss with the Switch 1 games looking better in handheld mode than dock mode. There are some games, I've seen that on My Life in Gaming too, that did have some issues there. And our friend Saru Maru is also there.
Hey!
Say yes, and he says also hi, and it's Johnny!
Me and Saru met in person finally over the weekend.
How cool.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's
did a live podcast. Didn't mean to just completely derail the conversation. But
no, that's totally fine. It's apropos. At some point, Maul and Sarumaru and I are going to have some really good food in Vegas. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen at some point because both of them apparently know all the good places.
Do it. YOLO.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And Fenris Wolf Retro also says we're going to watch big name companies absolutely implode and indie devs rise from the ashes. I hope. In an empire of Linux.
That happens in a number of fields right now.
I am hopeful, although people have been saying this forever. I remember, I don't know if you guys, well, some of you were maybe too young, but if you were not too young, do you remember when the internet was going to come out and it was going to like change everything and everything was going to be democratized and there were going to be no more middlemen and everyone was going to have total creative freedom?
Yeah.
Remember when people were saying
that was true for like 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
To be fair.
Yep. There was
Yeah.
there was a beautiful window of like 6
Beautiful.
months where that was the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything was everywhere. You could get real like news from everywhere. You could get like 9/11 like beheading videos on YouTube. I mean,
Oh
it
my
was just
God.
everything was everywhere. And then
Most
everything got
traumatic
locked down.
thing I've ever seen, and on accident, I might add.
Yeah.
You could even find things you didn't want to find, which is still
Yeah.
the case.
I mean, it was everything. It,
Oh,
we
yeah.
took the good with the bad, you know?
Yep. For sure. So speaking of taking the good, let's transition into focusing on Johnny Grafx here now. So you just came back from Game On Expo. Tell me
Yes.
about that. Tell me about Game On Expo. How was that?
Man, it was so much. And my particular journey with it was a lot because, like, I have not been that far west other than maybe a couple of times. And it's been, years and years and years apart, me going that far away from home. And I'm glad I did it. It was a good trip. Phoenix as a city was just way more different than I expected. Like, it's very walkable and very like Uber, even though Uber's kind of expensive now, it was still pretty cheap because everything's like kind of close to everything else. And so actually I had a rental car and I ended up taking it back after like 4 hours because I was like, this is completely unnecessary. And, every time you park somewhere, it's $10, $18, whatever. So I ended up taking that thing back and just Ubering and walking. And after that, I had a really, really fun time just kind of exploring and just getting like weird street tacos and just like, going into places where nobody spoke English. It was just all Spanish. And I was like, wow, that's cool. I can't function here, but this is cool. And it's cool, because being from Ohio, it's not that, it's just the opposite, and it was cool to be around a lot of different types of people with different backgrounds and stuff. And, but the convention itself obviously was, it's a very, it's a gaming convention. Like, if you've ever been to one, you kind of get like the broad strokes of it. It wasn't super it doesn't reinvent the wheel, I guess, but there are a lot of content creators at this one. It's kind of content creator focused.
That's the cool part, I think.
Yeah. And if there's people you want to meet, like AVGN and a lot of the legacy guys are there. For me, there was a handful of people I wanted to meet. Obviously, Sorry Moore, I wanted to, hook up with him and hang out with him and actually be like physically like meet him, because we've done the podcast and we've been in touch and, we've been friends for a long time. And so we could actually hang out a little bit. And so that was fun. And then we even did a live episode of House of Few Cards that I'm going to have a really fun time editing the audio issues with. But it was cool to do that. And, we had some people in the audience, like shouting out, chiming in on stuff. And so that was fun. That was cool. That was a little different. Met a couple guys I really like, Pat Contry and Ian Ferguson from the CU podcast. And so they were cool to meet.
They were like some of the first, or at least from my YouTube, like some of the first famous retro video game YouTube folks. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. They were like some of the first offshoots from AVGN, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, hung around with them a couple of times actually and just BS'd with them a little bit.
That's cool.
And I was telling Break before we started the show, like Ian's moving basically. And so he's offloading some stuff, probably for some extra money, but I think primarily because he just wants to make his move easier, going, it's a big move is what he's doing now. So he was selling this retro bit re-release of the Valis games on Sega Genesis. So like Sid of Valis, Valis 3, and I want to say the original or the remake of the original, Valis Phantasm Soldier. And so, I think it originally came out for like nearly $200 or something. And I remember when it launched, but I just didn't have the money at the time for whatever reason and passed on it. And so he's selling his, and he sold it to me for like $130 or something. And everything is still sealed. Everything's still brand new. So he had no business selling it to me for that cheap. But in any case, I took him up on it because, that was like, I have to do this. Not only is it this Valis collection that I missed like a once in a lifetime opportunity to get, but it's Ian Ferguson's Valis collection.
That's what I was saying. That's so cool. You can always say like whose this was.
Yeah. And so as much as I'd love to rip it open and look at everything and play it, and I think I'm just going to leave it sealed and it's just going to be a cool thing. That's just,
it's pretty cool.
It has that memory attached to it. And And I also bought a copy of Rygar for the NES from Pat, which is
That's so cool.
not a super remarkable game, but in a similar way, it's like this is Pat's Rygar. Like it's probably in the background of a bunch of his videos and stuff. You know,
it's a part of gaming history at this point.
Yeah,
I mean,
I bought it from him. Yeah,
that's rad.
I wouldn't sell Rygar short, man. And I think it's one of the best NES games out there. Like,
I like Rygar.
It is much more than its arcade counterpart.
Although I hated it the first time I played it, but I eventually came to like it.
it's kind of an acquired taste, I guess you could say.
Yes.
Because there's something to it. It's hard for me to put my finger on that. It's not super intuitive. Something about it.
Yeah. No,
it's not like a problem, but it's just like something that's funky about it.
You have to know where you're going.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So there's some acquired taste, I guess I would say. But anyway, got that. And then just saw some arcade cabinets you don't normally see, you know, like a Splatterhouse arcade cabinet, which I've never seen.
Oh, wow.
I've always wanted to see one. Granted, this one was very modded up, and I think the screen was probably new. But still, I mean, it was, some of it was probably original, you know, some parts of it.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, it was a bit of a Frankenstein, but still cool. I was in the presence of one finally for the first time in my life. It's
cool.
one of my favorite games, and I've known that there's arcade cabinets of that game floating around, and I've just never seen one. So that was cool, and I played it. I wasn't able to beat it because the arcade version's very hard, and I'm bad at the joystick and the big button arcade style. I'm just a controller.
I'm a D-pad man.
I'm a console peasant. I just am. But I got on the leaderboard anyway, so I put.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
If anyone gets on there at a feature con and you see JGX, that's me. I put JGX on there.
Nice.
I got most of the way through it. I'm sure if I sat there for another 2 hours, I could probably get through it, but I had to move on. Let's see, what else was there? There's just a lot of cool stuff, man. It was a fun trip, and getting to meet Saru and getting to meet Pat and Ian, and obviously there's a lot of other guys there that were fun to hang out with, and just a couple people just to say hi to. Obviously John Riggs. I see John Riggs at every convention I go to. John Riggs is there, so fun to touch base with him too.
That's cool.
And it's fun to see Saru kind of like get his game in front of more people. He's working on a new PC Engine game called Nyanja, which is kind of a Parasol Stars or Snow Bros like game.
I'm on the Kickstarter.
Oh, you are? Okay, cool. Yeah. So and it's just turning out really well. It looks great.
Yep.
It plays great. He says it's not quite done. Looks done to me. Looks good. Looks about as done as most games that come out at this point. But I guess they've just a little bit more to do before it's fully ready to go. So I'm excited for that. So it was cool to see him get that in front of some more people. And there's another guy that's making a Lost in Space adventure game that is currently on Steam. I guess the first chapter of it's already out. So we sat around and talked with him about that for a little bit. Like he got the license to Lost in Space and is making this little adventure game with those characters. So a little before my time, but I mean it's cool. Like I know it. It's a cool license to get. And,
there were some reruns when we were kids.
Right. Everybody's kind of everybody's aware of it to some degree.
Yep.
It's a good idea for that type of game.
That's the Danger Will Robinson, right? Danger Will Robinson.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was cool. Just overall, I'm glad I went, man. It was cool. It was far from home, and I'm still a little uncomfortable being that. I need to get more used to it because there's more traveling that I want to do. So this was kind of a good dry run for something really far, like a Japan trip and some other stuff I'm planning.
Nice. Have you gotten up to Classic Gaming Expo at all before? Because that's one that I've really wanted to try to hit at some point. I think that's up in Minneapolis or Chicago.
Midwest Gaming Classic?
Maybe that's it.
That's one me and Sarah were actually talking about maybe getting me out to that, if that's what the one you mean.
I think so.
Because they have a dedicated turbo. They have a turbo room there and stuff.
Yeah. I always see
it doesn't exist
people that
anymore.
go there. Well, there's one in the Midwest that I just can think of. I've always seen people go, and you see rows and rows of classic arcade games that you just don't see anywhere, and that's something I really want to check out. And not to mention just the offshoots of just different consoles or
Classic
home
Game
computers,
Fest?
things like that. Yeah, Classic Game Fest. That's it. Sorry.
In Austin. Yeah. Cool. That'd be cool. There's one in KC too.
There is.
The Kansas City Gaming Convention.
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
But yeah, I'm down to explore. Usually I tend to go to the Pittsburgh one, which isn't far from me, or maybe like the Cleveland Gaming Classic. I've been there a couple times, or Torg in Columbus. I've been there probably about 5 times. So those are the ones that are kind of in my neck of the woods I'm most familiar with, but I'm looking to branch out. You know, PAX East is kind of on my radar up in Boston.
Oh, yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, I got some buddies up there that I could bunk with, you know, to save me a small fortune on the hotel. And so there's a few, you know, I'm going to keep branching out and seeing where it takes me, because, you know, you go to the same conventions several times in a row, and there's nothing wrong with doing that, but you ultimately you see the kind of the same few dozen things over and over again, and you sort of get the itch to kind of explore a little bit, you know. So I guess that's kind of where my head's at with it.
Did you see any games that were like, whoa, that's rare, or like super expensive games?
Yeah, I mean, definitely saw one thing that I came shockingly close to getting was a guy's FM Towns Marty. He is selling for 300 and some change, which not a bad price, honestly, for a working FM Towns Marty. And, you know, if you think the Turbo Grafx is expensive and obscure, this makes that look like the NES. I mean, it had like arcade quality ports before that was cool. Yeah. You know, like almost like SNK style, like they were on discs. It actually has an arcade perfect port of Splatterhouse. One of the few versions of Splatterhouse I've never played is on the FM Towns Marty. So that was one I came real close to getting, but then I thought about the logistics of like getting that in my suitcase, which is already bursting at the seams with all the other crap I got.
Oh, that's always the issue, isn't it?
Man,
yeah, it is. Now, I did hear a genius idea from none other than Metal Jesus Rocks. He was at Torg in Ohio a year and a half ago, and I talked to them a little bit about that very issue, and he told me what he does is he goes to conventions, buys a bunch of stuff, and then mails all his dirty clothes back home, and then fills up his suitcase with all the stuff we bought. And I was like, that's genius, because if you lose your clothes, I mean, you know, that sucks, but it'd be way worse to lose the stuff you just bought, right?
Right.
So if you're choosing between the two and you still want to like, you don't want to like check in a whole other bag or anything, it's kind of a genius move. So yeah, that is a move you could do.
That's
well, if you're really worried about your clothes, like if you have an expensive item, you just put it in with the expensive stuff and send all the cheap stuff and through the other bag.
Sure. Yeah, you could draw the line wherever, I guess.
Yeah.
Jack, this reminds me, do you remember bringing all the crap back from E3 the first year?
Oh yeah, no, I had like the first year and even the second time I went, like I brought so much crap back. In fact, the second time I went, I actually just took an extra suitcase with me so I could bring everything back, because I knew I was going to want just all that stuff. And then, you know, kind of, you know, Johnny, like you were saying with some of the guys you met over there, like I was moving to another house and I was just like, I don't want to move this stuff. So like at a garage sale, I just kind of had folks come up and I was just like, hey, like they actually knew kind of some of the stuff I had that was just out. There was some classic gaming stuff, and I was just like, you guys wanted some really cool stuff? I've got some like E3 stuff you should really like. If you're into this stuff, feel free, like take it. if at the right price, it's yours.
I have a big tote in there that's kind of coffin shaped, and it literally has all of that stuff. Like I opened it the other day and it had like the guide for like E304 in there. But anyway, I just remember my bag exploding. That's what it reminded me of. In the airport when I got off the plane, my bag exploded and E3 crap went everywhere in the lobby. That's what I remember. But the FM Towns Marty, I'd never looked at what it looked like before. It looks a lot like a Turbo Duo, like design wise.
Kind of. Yeah, it's that early CD thing where you just plop it in the top, and I don't even know if it snaps in. I think it just kind of sits on the thing, and you just pray to God it doesn't fly off, I guess. And it's, you know, early CD players were kind of like that. You just plop a CD on, and it just spins, and hopefully gravity works.
We felt like it was the future back then. That was really...
Yeah, I mean, I saw a little bit of that growing up. I held on to my tapes, though. I kind of ignored CDs for a while. I liked my tapes. I like the cassettes, you know. I could see the tape. I understood the tape. CDs I didn't understand for a while. I kind of ignored them.
They were very expensive, too, like $18 for a...
Yeah, like, you know, there would be a CD and a tape of an album, right? And the tape was always like $5 cheaper, I remember. So that was part of the motivation, too. Like, my Limp Bizkit tape was cheaper than the CD, so...
Awesome.
I just went that route.
Awesome. All right, Jack.
Yeah. So Johnny, I know we've chatted about this a little bit before, but give me a rundown on the first 5 TurboGrafx or PC Engine games I should play if I've never heard of the console before.
Oh, well, that's not your problem, right? I mean,
No,
you know
it's not
all
my
about
problem.
this thing. Okay, yeah. Oh, geez. You know, we kind of talked about this a little bit on the live episode of the show that we did. This is Miku, by the way. She insists on being
that's great.
the center of attention.
No, we have cats that visit the show all the time. It's totally fine.
You'll see her in the B-roll of almost every video I put up because when I'm shooting stuff, she always just knows and she wants to come in and be involved.
She's a star.
And she really is. I'm currently putting together a new icon for the channel where it's her instead of Airzonk. It's her, but with Airzonk's glasses.
Oh, that's great.
I'm going to make her like a thing. Like she's going to be a thing. Don't worry. You'll see more of Miku.
That's cool. Mascot.
Anyway, what was the question?
Jack, go ahead and repeat the question.
So like what are the first 5 TurboGrafx or PC Engine games I should play if I've never played one before?
So something I would do and like lose the question. That's why I laugh.
Yeah. We're kindred spirits.
Yeah,
in that
for
way.
sure.
Well, you got to play Keith Courage, not because it's good, but because that's what everybody has to play first. That's your rite of passage. You have to see what NEC thought everyone would love as a pack-in. You have to just
so right.
You have to experience it.
So right.
Mm-hmm. And it's not a bad game. In fact, if it weren't the pack-in, I bet you more people would probably like it. But it's just it's so painfully average. And, you know, it's kind of like when the Genesis made Altered Beast to the pack-in before they realized, like, Sonic was their guy. It was like, why? Like, it's not a bad game, but why is this your representative? This is not a good pick. But anyway, you have to play Keith Courage.
Okay.
And then you got to play some shooters, of course. You got to play Soldier Blade. The only problem with playing Soldier Blade is once you play it, it only goes downhill. It never gets better. That's like the best game on the system, maybe. It's arguable. But it is so superb, you have to play it. You just have to play it. The way enemies come at you and the way the music and the levels just kind of unfold together, it's like a dance. It's like it's choreographed. It's so expertly put together. And they actually made that game in like 6 months. They were actually in a huge hurry to make that game.
Oh, wow. Shocking. That's super impressive.
Yeah. Right. And the music, I mean, it's just 10 out of 10 across the board. Every aspect of it's 10 out of 10. So you got to play that one. Similarly, you got to play Airzonk because it just is. It exists and it's perfect. It's more of the cute 'em up side of things, but it's similar to Soldier Blade in that it's just it's just perfectly done. I only have maybe a couple little gripes about the pacing. But I mean, it's just so fun, and you just can't take your eyes off of it. It's just so like stimulating to look at and listen to. Yeah, and it's so polished and just like it's amazing. You got to play Airzonk for sure. So that's 3. I would say 2 more. Bloody Wolf, if you like sort of like Ikari Warriors, Rambo 3, these kind of run and gun games that were big at the time.
Mm-hmm. Pew pew.
Bloody Wolf is a good like iteration of that. It does its own thing a little bit. It's a little silly. And actually, I talk about it in my last video because there's an arcade version of Bloody Wolf that a lot of people don't know about that is objectively worse than the turbo version, which you don't always see. Usually the arcade version back then is superior in a number of ways. But in this case, the turbo version just destroys the arcade version. So that's a fun one. And, there's 50 other ones, that you could say, but I would say maybe go to the Turbo CD and experiment maybe with Lords of Thunder or Gates of Thunder. Anything with Thunder in the title, you're probably good.
Yeah.
But get on the Turbo CD and Lords of Thunder if you maybe value like the heavy metal sound and aesthetic a little bit more. But Gates of Thunder, if you value maybe more of that polished Hudson spaceship shooter fundamentals, because it just nails the fundamentals. But either of those, I guess maybe those are kind of tied for like the 5th one.
Great list.
So there you go.
That's really great. Yeah. The Thunder, the Gates of Thunder, Lords of Thunder, those are 2 that I still haven't picked up anywhere. I need to find just a copy of Lords of Thunder for sure, just so I can just play through it once.
Well, I'll tell you, do you have the Analog Duo, Jack?
I do not know.
Okay. Do you have any way to play the Turbo
Oh
CD
yeah,
games?
I've got ways to play them for
Okay.
sure. I haven't ventured out to find a copy.
Okay. Well, when you do find a copy, immediately take that and put it away.
Okay.
And then play a burned copy on your system.
Okay.
Because the CDs are old and rare, and you just don't want to mess with them if you don't absolutely have to.
Yeah.
Also, have you
No,
played
absolutely.
the kind of remastered one where they make it easier to hear the music on Gates of Thunder? Because
I have not, but I've heard that that's a thing.
yeah, because Gates of Thunder has the really loud when you're shooting, and it makes it hard to hear the music at times.
Yeah,
And
you're right. The mixing is off on that one. There's a couple of them where the mixing is a little not great because they just were so happy with the sound effects, I guess, that they just turned
right
them up
out
a
in
little bit
front,
too high.
right out in front. But yeah, there's a really nice kind of I think it's called Gate of Thunder Remastered or something along the lines of that that you can download, and it remixes it to, or maybe it's Gate of Thunder Remixed, one of the two. But anyway, it sounds
Something like that, yeah.
It sounds really good. That's the version I play now because it's so much fun to rock out to that music, and the sound effects are still plenty loud. Like you don't lose them,
Yeah.
because they're like way out in front otherwise.
Right. Now, if you take your CD of your game that you bought and didn't steal online at all, ever, 'cause
Never.
you
Never
never
do
do
that.
that.
Never, ever.
You would never do it because we're all good, honest people here.
Yeah.
So what you do is you take your CD that you bought, that's official, that you bought, and you put that in your computer, and you, assuming you have a CD drive, and you run that through RetroArch. And if you run it through RetroArch, then you can go into the sound settings and you can turn the PSG sound to whatever you want.
Yeah,
Well,
That's
so
what I
much
do
easier.
with Gate of Thunder.
Yeah, that's
so
what I
much
do
easier.
with Rondo. That's what I do because
Yeah,
you get
same
those
deal.
you get
Yep.
those pre-boss areas that like the PSG is so loud, and it's just got to bring it down to where the CD level is. It
Right.
always throws me off.
Also,
Right.
if you need it like a millionth way to do this, there's the Turbo EverDrive Pro,
Yeah.
which I have, and that's how I usually play. You can also mess with the mixing and the audio settings there too. So lots of different. I think the
Can you really?
RetroArch
I haven't
ways
actually
plugin.
done that.
Yeah, you can on the Turbo EverDrive Pro, only the Pro version. You can go to the audio, and there's like a section because you want to set it initially to whatever system you have, because all the systems apparently have slightly different ways of messing with the audio. So like whatever particular PC Engine or TurboGrafx version you have, you want to change it to that version to start with.
Man, shout out to Crix. They really made a good. They sent that thing to me, dude. Like I didn't even like ask them. They reached out to me and sent that.
That
Pro
is
thing.
awesome.
That's
From
like
Ukraine with
incredible.
love.
Shout out to Crix.
I
Like
mean-
that was a bro move right there. He just sent that to me.
I like him even
and
more.
I barely ever use it because I have all the games.
It's
But,
it's an
eventually
awesome
I'm-
device though. Like
Yeah,
it's really cool. I had the original one and I sold it to get that one a little bit ago because I have a Turbo Duo, and then I have like a PC Engine, and I just was getting a little bit worried about using optical discs, and so playing them off of the Turbo EverDrive Pro has just kind of become the way I do it.
We might as well get used to it because that is the long-term solution.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
These CDs are they're like 40 years old now. Like
Oh, yeah.
almost.
No, I
I
mean,
mean
that-
that's crazy.
Digital bit rot is a thing, especially on CDs.
It really is, and I hate it. But now, the more I learn about that, the more it seems to be, you can really stave that off by having a dry, cool environment to keep your CDs in. Like you can really, maybe not avoid it forever, but you can really put it off significantly by taking care of the environment. But it is still a thing it's just kind of coming.
And
You know,
it's inherent with the medium, right?
And some
Yeah, it's
CDs
with
are
anything.
worse for it with others too. Like some of them were just manufactured better.
right? Yeah, that adds a whole other complexity to it. Different CDs are different quality, and you know who knows.
Got a few more things coming in here. Yes, Sarmaro, I actually would love to do the dinner thing. That would be really fun. Appreciate that. And so Fenris says, so what you're saying is I need to beat the game to dominate your score, Johnny. I think he's talking about the
I mean, yeah, if you beat it, you'll definitely just inherently get a higher score, because I think I just made it to right before you fight Jennifer in bear form, like that thing. Like right before that, for whatever reason, because I'm just not coordinated with the joystick and the buttons. I just couldn't
I feel
quite.
you.
Yeah, like there's a lot of jumping and stuff in this, like right before there, and I just kind of screwed that part up. Now, if you get on the digital version that you get on PSN, the Arcade Archives Splatterhouse, you get on there, you'll find me on the leaderboard. I'm in the top 100 on there worldwide. Have fun trying to beat that one.
Ooh, throw down.
That one's
That's
I
challenge.
min-maxed that
Throw
one.
down. Let's see what happens there. So he does have a couple questions for you too. I wonder, is Johnny Graphics aware of the PC Express games coming for the PC Engine?
PC Express games. Does he mean PCE Works? Like bootlegs?
You have to clarify that. That's probably, you have to clarify that, Fenris. There's a little bit of a delay.
I'm not sure.
But also,
Sounds like I don't.
But also, he said, did Johnny also see the post from John about PC Engine 2 copies turning up dead? I think.
Say that again. I'm sorry. I was looking at PC Express.
Did he see the post from John about PC Engine 2 copies showing up dead? Would that be the limited run?
No, I have not seen that. What happened?
I think I saw that on social.
Like showing up just like not working?
I think so.
That sucks.
Oh,
if
Inu
that's
Bass
true.
says hello too.
Hello.
All the regulars. Fun. This is a really fun episode so far.
Yes.
And
I talk
Gordostein
PC Engine
also
stuff all
says
day.
hello.
We'll just turn this into my show.
There you go. That's kind of the goal for the second part of it, to be honest with you.
For real.
That's
Yeah,
kind of
works for me.
that's kind of what we're doing. All right, Jess, you're up.
Yeah, so do you have a specific game or series, whether that be more of a classic game or more modern, that you feel like you could just talk about for hours, and why?
Oh man, there's several. One that really comes to mind that I'll just never be done thinking about and or talking about is the Metal Gear Solid series.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore those games, even the so-called not so great ones like the Metal Gear Acid and Portable Ops and stuff.
Acid's great.
It is in its own silly little way. I mean, it's Kojima. It's so Kojima. I just love Kojima's style where it's like
Gear.
a little bit funny, but it never acknowledges that it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little self-serious, but never not self-aware of it. And it's like science fiction that it over-explains itself, but then there'll be some magic thing that's never explained.
Yeah.
And it's just it's just so it's barely controlled, barely contained madness.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. Sorry, Mika's rubbing all over the mic. She's freaking out here.
It's
She knows
okay.
I'm trying to
Her
talk.
guest
so.
appearance. It's fine.
Are you super excited to have a new way to play Metal Gear Solid 4 here pretty soon?
Yes, God, finally. I'm so excited. I can't wait to play that again. I love my PS3 and I still fire it up every once in a while, but it worries me because the fans immediately start blowing and
yeah.
I'm just like, I need to really get some work done on that thing. I need to redo the thermal paste probably. Who knows?
I just did that on my original Xbox. It does help.
I'm sure it will. But even still, it's just, I treasure it so much because it's the fat PS3 that plays everything, and I love that thing to death. And I just want it to last. And ironically, I want to be able to use it forever, so I never use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like,
It's the trouble with a lot of these things, the classic
Right.
gaming things.
but yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4 is a absolute masterpiece of science fiction, fantasy, espionage nonsense.
Yes.
And I love it. And I can't wait to see so many people who were grew up with an Xbox 360 probably didn't have a PS3 because it was not that popular in its time. These people who were kids then are now in their 20s and they have PS5s and they're going to be able to play Metal Gear Solid 4. And I'm really excited to see all these people come into and play this absolutely outrageous game that is so you will laugh, you will get scared, you will cry. It's everything. It's everything. And it's amazing. It's a perfect ending to that ludicrous story of Solid Snake and Big Boss and it's so many cool 80s movie references and it's perfect. I can't wait for people to play it.
Can I tell you my one hope for it? I really, really hope they put this in the re-release is I hope they give you the option if you want to sit through the install screens where you just
you have
see
to.
Snake smoking a cigarette. Like that is it's the stupidest thing in the world.
Yeah, he smokes a cigarette for 10 minutes, and it displays like, make sure to take breaks from video games after 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's the best thing in the world, and I just like, yeah. I mean, if you got to do something, hey, I can think of worse things to do while you're waiting for this.
Yeah, the solid state drives really might necessitate that those have to be an option, because if it's not an option, it would just skip right through it probably.
Yeah.
Also, Raiden is absolutely insane in that game. Mm-hmm. Like, he's cool. Like, they were so like they gave him the Airzonk treatment basically. Like, they took him from a dork and made him like this cool, like ridiculous machine man.
Yeah.
And so I just talk about Metal Gear Solid 4 forever. That one on its own, I could talk about forever, let alone the first one and the second and the third. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4, I'm particularly excited about because I want to see what this whole new generation thinks of it.
You know, those games on the PS2, just talk about old consoles for a second, they're pretty amazing what like Metal Gear Solid 2 got out of, and 3, what it got out of the PS2. Like, there's some pretty interesting breakdowns. I think John Linneman did it about the difference between the PS2 versions and the Xbox versions. And despite the Xbox being so much more powerful on a brass knuckles level, it could not pull off like some of the rain effects and some of the things that were very focused on the PS2 hardware.
Yeah, it really did push things far, and with how well it ran too, because it was a pretty, I don't know if it was like a solid 60, but it felt at the time good. It felt like a high frame rate, higher than normal.
It felt good
for the time.
It felt good.
Like if you play Killzone or something on the PS2 and then play Metal Gear Solid 2, it's like night and day with how well it runs.
Killzone was the Halo killer. I remember that.
Yes, we never thought about Halo again after Killzone.
It died right then.
Right out the window.
That's why Guerrilla's still making them, right?
Yeah. Although I will say, no one talks about this, but if you play the expansion in Horizon Forbidden West, where she goes to this different area, there's this hologram of this weird military takeover or something that happened in the past, like you see a lot in the Horizon.
Yeah.
And one of them, I swear to God, there's Hellgast in it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So, I mean, that was probably just a fun little, like, whatever nod to Killzone, but it could be more than that. They might be in the same universe. They're 1,000 years apart, so why not? You could do it.
It's true.
You're not stepping on any toes by including it. Anyway, back to Metal Gear Solid for a second.
Yeah.
Jess, that was your question, and I'm curious what your experience with Metal Gear Solid is. Have you played the games, or what do you think of them?
I have not. We were not a PlayStation household growing up. We had a PlayStation 2, and it was my brother's, and I didn't really get to mess with it all that much. Okay. So I have, like, no experience with Metal Gear Solid other than just, like, what I know about it because it's such an iconic
Well, you're in luck
series.
because those collections are now a thing. So if you want to get into them, it's never been easier.
I have a long list of games that I want to, like, get back into as soon as grad school is done. And I actually have time in my life again. I'm so close.
Right.
But it's pretty high on the list because it is such an iconic one that I've not gotten the chance to really sit down and play through.
Do you prefer?
Well, I mean, you're a writer, right? I mean, you're. That's like your thing. Okay, well, the writing. I mean, it's not. You're not going to want to necessarily like take notes from it because it's madness. But I bet you would enjoy it from your perspective as an actual writer, as someone who really knows writing. Because there's so much dialogue, especially in 4. And I don't know. I feel like you might get a little something special out of it that a lot of people might not. So I'd be
curious to what you'd think of it for sure.
Oh, I would want to know absolutely.
Yeah,
well,
just
based
put up on your list a little bit.
conversation, it's going to the top. Then,
Just cool. Curious, Johnny. Do you prefer the originals or the collections that have come out recently?
I mean, for Metal Gear Solid.
I mean, any of them really, but kind of like overall.
From what I understand, there really isn't anything to lose from playing the modern collections as opposed to playing the originals. The only thing you kind of might lose are some little moments, like in the original Metal Gear Solid when you put the PlayStation controller on the floor and Psycho Mantis moves it. You might lose a little bit of that. I mean, depending on how, like if you're playing it with a keyboard and a mouse on a PC, I guess you're not gonna, you're not gonna get that, or a Switch or something. Sorry, Logan, but if you, I mean, if you're playing it on like a PS5 or something, you can approximate it. But even if you do miss out on that moment, there's so much more. So it's however you can play it, just play it. That's what I would say.
That was a thing that like everyone at my school was talking about. By the way, like I was in high school when that game was around, the first Metal Gear Solid, and like everyone talked about the Psycho Mantis thing and all the kind of fourth wall breaking things.
Yeah.
Are they using like vibrations in the controller to move it based on like what I'm hearing?
Yeah, that's all it was.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
he would
really
go like
cool.
this, and then your controller would vibrate, and because he tells you to put it on. He tells you, the player, to put your controller on the floor while talking to Snake. So it's like intuitively, you get it, but contextually, it's weird. It's very weird to watch that happen.
That's probably the most creative way I've
pretty
heard
cool.
somebody use vibrating controllers before.
Yeah.
It's definitely up there.
Yeah, between that and like reading off the memory card and be like, oh, hey, you like Castlevania games. It was something that really just broke the fourth. Like no other game really had done that to that point.
Yeah, and if you don't save very much, he taunts you about it. He's like, oh, you're not very careful. You don't save very often. But he's talking to Snake saying it. You know what I mean? So like it makes no sense to Snake, but as you're the player, it makes sense to you. So it's weird. It messes with your head a little bit.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That was a fun road to go down. All right, Logan.
Yeah. So, what's a game from the past year that you've really gotten into, Johnny?
Like a modern game, you think?
It could be anything. Just, we can go with a modern game, but also if there's a game that you just started playing for the first time in the last year, we can talk about that too.
Well, one that I've really been into, and I've kind of drifted in and out of it a little bit, but Space Marine 2 is absolutely fantastic. I've been having a blast with it. It summons a lot of the character action game stuff that I've liked that you saw on the PS3 and the PS2 and a little bit in the PS4, and we kind of got away from that while games got a little too serious in my opinion, and now we're kind of seeing a resurgence of this, like, let's just have fun and kill stuff for a few hours, God forbid, and not everything needs to be everything to everyone. And so Space Marine 2 really kind of does that. And but with like really good modern visuals and it's the same guys that made that World War Z game, so they know how to put legions and legions of enemies on the screen at once.
The sense of scale is just phenomenal in that game.
It's unparalleled. Maybe it might be the most I've ever seen, especially with highly detailed, like AAA looking character models, like thousands of them at times. And the game still runs pretty good, like on a base PS5. That's what I played on.
Nice. Are you playing co-op or are you just playing solo?
Both. And that's the beauty of it, because it's clearly like designed with co-op in mind, but you can play it on your own just fine and have a blast with it. Because the campaign, it's short, but it's fun. And if you played the first Space Marine, it's really fun to go back to that character and see. His story doesn't really develop much, but it's nice to go back to the character anyway. Yeah. And because you still don't really know why he survived the warp. You really don't know. Like, that was a big question at the end of the first game, and the whole second game does not. It acknowledges the problem, but it never really answers it.
Yeah.
So I guess the plan is to answer it in the third game, because apparently the third game is underway currently.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it sold really well right off the bat, and they were like, okay, we're making number 3, and then they just kind of went dark. So they're working on it right now.
Cool. I'm all up for it.
Nice.
Yep. God bless them. Keep it up. And but yeah, I mean, there's good co-op content. There's operations that are like separate levels, and then there's the siege mode, which is basically a horde mode, that's where the real replay value is, I think. You can get on there with some people, and then you start earning credits, and you can start upgrading your stuff and doing different colors, and you get a pink Space Marine. You can just go all out with it and just go nuts and really explore, and the different classes and stuff. And that's probably where the majority of my playtime is now, just in that horde mode. And actually, it's me and my wife. She'll get on PC upstairs, and I'm on the PS5, and there's crossplay.
That's
and
cool.
we get on siege mode together.
Nice.
And
that's fun.
And and it's 3 people, I think. So it'll be me and her and some rando usually, and and it's fun. And I'll probably put another 100 or so hours into it, honestly, before I'm fed up with it. And that's been, I mean, I've been playing it off and on. Geez, I want to say it came out, it might have been 2024 when it came out. It might not have been 2025, I'm not sure, but in any case, that's probably my most played modern game at this point for sure.
Good pick.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome. Very
good.
cool. Actually, I haven't played it, so now I'm gonna have to play it.
Yeah, if you played the first one, it's fun to play for sure. I mean, even if you haven't played the first one, it's fine, but it's particularly nice if you remember that first one.
Yeah, if you're gonna play it on Steam too, like, you know, you can catch it on any of the Steam sales. Like, it's usually on sale for like 30-40% off. So
Nice.
Oh yeah, super worth it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've been getting some stuff like 90% off in the last week. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I love Steam sales. It's amazing. All right, so back to your channel here for a minute. What are some games or topics, if you don't mind mentioning, that we're going to be seeing soon on besides an amazing Castlevania podcast? What else are we going to be seeing?
Yeah, that did turn out to be one of the better episodes of the podcast. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. House of Feud Cards episode 6. It's 90% done. I basically just need to put the end bumper on it and save the darn thing and upload it. And make the thumbnail. I haven't done that. So anyway, it's about done. But yeah, the next video, I'm bouncing around between a couple of things. There is a channel update video that I've been wanting to do for like 3 months that I've finally shot and I've edited like some of it. I'm going to get that done and just kind of talk about future plans for the channel, which is more or less steady as she goes. But I'm going to experiment around the edges with some other stuff. And then there's another video where me and a buddy of mine, Matt, from the channel Mystic Lee's Retro Reunion, we did a bro box thing where we shipped each other a box of games that we think the other one will like. And he already uploaded
really
his.
cool.
Yeah, he already uploaded his that I sent him. And I have mine. Again, it's like half, 60% done editing. I don't know why I'm like 60% done with 7 things right now, but that's just how it is.
No, I get that. Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. Believe me, I feel you.
It's just ADHD. It is what it is. And so I'm going to get that done. And so I'm going to experiment with some stuff like that every once in a while. But for the most part, you know, it's the videos that I've been putting up over the past year or two, that kind of format. I like doing it still. I haven't run out of stuff to talk about yet with the Turbo or the Genesis or the PS1 and, you know, kind of my comfort areas. I still haven't run out of stuff to say. I have a Google Doc with ideas that I'm still adding to faster than I can cross them off. So I expected to be out of ideas by now, but I'm just not. So I'm just going to keep doing it.
awesome.
Well, I'm happy to hear it because I have seen every video on your channel for sure.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I hope you don't go too far back because it gets kind of cringe if you go like too far.
I think that I have long before you ever were on the podcast because
I gotta delete some stuff.
I can't remember which one of your videos I saw first. It was definitely one of the Turbo ones. But whenever I find a channel I like go back to the beginning and like watch all. I mean, it takes me a while, but I watch all of the videos. And so I'm pretty sure I've seen all. I mean, I'm not pretty sure. I definitely have seen all of your videos that exist.
Well, I'm sorry about some of those older ones. Some of those older ones are not particularly well done because there was a time when the channel was really meant to be more of like a video resume that I was sending to like IGN and GameSpot because I was trying to be like a hotshot game journalist guy. And it almost kind of worked because I actually got some work in that field. But then I realized I just kind of don't like it. I just don't like. I want to talk about what I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about what other people want me to talk about.
Yeah, that gets not fun when you get forced to like cover certain things.
Yeah, it's exciting for a while because it's like, oh, I got a code for this game a month before it comes out, and I'm cool now, and it's a secret. Ooh. But then you realize, oh, I only get paid like $50 for this, and it sucks, and and everybody hates it in the comments. And it's like, and it's just not fulfilling. And I could literally spend this time doing nothing and not make any money and be happier, you know? So you'll see a line. There's a line in my YouTube channel. It's almost immediate with the thumbnails and everything where you can tell like, oh, he's talking about what he wants to talk about instead of what he thinks other people want him to talk about. And so from that point on, then I'm happy with it, which is about a couple years or so ago.
I've also, I swear, heard your voice on other channels.
Yeah, you probably did. Gaming Bolt was a big one I did a lot of work on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they I That's a whole podcast right there. There's some stories there.
Ooh.
Horrible experience in a lot of ways with that.
Ooh.
Won't go into it tonight, but that was wild.
You should do
That's
Gaming
wild.
Bolt Exposed, the Johnny Grafx
I
story.
should. I've thought about it a few times. I probably never will, but I probably should.
That sounds
Because
spicy.
I just don't. There's some spice. Maybe off camera, I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'll tell you some stuff one day. But
That sounds good.
Anyway, it was experience. It's fine. It's experience, and I dropped off from them about when I needed to, and it's all good.
There you go. It's probably a learning experience, hopefully.
Oh yeah, big time.
All right, Jack, your turn.
So Johnny, now that you just got back from doing a convention, how do your gaming habits change when you're traveling? Like, do you find yourself playing different things? Do you find yourself playing games at all when you're on the road?
I'd like to. It's weird because I'm not on the road often enough to justify like buying a system simply for portable play. So I just haven't really done it. Yeah, I have taken my links and stuff sometimes, and just like on the plane, like had my links and just played it. Yeah. And people next to me on the plane are like, "What in God's name are you doing?" But this
I gotta get my Gauntlet 4 in, man.
Yeah, so, do you have 6 AA's I can borrow, by the way?
Right.
They died 5 minutes ago. But yeah, and so I just haven't. It's I have my Vita. I've played all the games on the Vita that I want to play. I don't know. I'm just not a big portable gamer. I just don't dabble in it very much. I like that we're getting to a place now where the portable devices and the at-home devices are often the same. They're melding. I like that because having the option to go portable with something that I don't normally go portable with, that sounds good to me. But I wouldn't. I'm not in a place. I'm only moving further and further from the mindset of getting like something just for portable play. Because I'm just not gone enough to really justify it. Plus, when I'm at the conventions, I'm not playing on something of mine. I'm playing on other people's stuff. I'm playing the indie games that are on display. I'm playing the arcade games that you don't see very often.
Yeah.
I'm running around talking to people. I'm not really playing a lot of games, ironically, even though I'm immersed in gaming, totally. So I guess my habits really change in that way, where it's like I'm playing less in a way because I'm experiencing the industry in this other way, which I'm fine with because that's part of the point of the trip.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool.
Speaking of the indie games, besides the great Star Mars game, Jan-Cat, are there any other indie games that you played that caught your fancy?
That Lost in Space one for sure.
Right.
There were a couple others that the titles are escaping me at the moment. But I mean, the thing that really stuck out to me the most is just the quality that's coming out of these indie developers and the tools they have at their disposal. Unity, of course, has always been around, but like I was talking to the guy that made the Lost from Space game about how Unity, you don't even really need to code that much anymore, which is part of what was keeping me off of it, because I've been working on a game in the background on a Game Maker Studio 2 because of just how approachable it is. But the ceiling's pretty low on what you can do with it. And so that's kind of usually been the trade-off. Like, it's easy to use, but you can only do so much.
Yeah.
The more you can do, the more complicated it gets to learn. But that trade-off is slowly but surely kind of going away because Unity has, these other modules and more. I forget what he described it as, but it's a series of yes, no answers and drop-down menus and things to put things together. And you can go into the code and tweak stuff here and there if you want, but you don't have to necessarily be like a master at, scripting stuff out if you don't want to be. You can still accomplish a lot.
Is it like a node-based system?
Yeah, it is. There's that. There's like that sort of interface to it. But there's all these different ways to approach it now, and there's these different like profiles you can use, and so it's coming a long way, and it's an exciting time to see what the indie scene is coming up with, and if you want to enter it yourself as a would-be developer, it's an exciting time to do it, or at the very least start exploring it, exploring the possibility.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, Jess.
So you focus on a lot of the kind of weirder, more obscure titles from the past. Are there any that
Yes.
really stand out to you as particularly surprising or impressive or criminally underrated in your opinion?
Oh, there's all kinds. Let's see. I mean, you know, the PS1 was really a hotbed for this, for just like underrated but super good games that just kind of came and went. You know, like for instance, there's a game called Skull Monkeys on the PS1 that you know, I know by that laugh, you know exactly the game I'm talking about, probably, Jack. And it's all clay, and it's animated by the guy that came up with Earthworm Jim before, and I think he might have worked on SpongeBob a little bit as an animator afterwards. So really skilled, creative guy. But he just kind of let his brain loose for this character, this Clayman character that's just like you know, so creative I can barely even describe it. And the world that he lives in is just so insane. It's called the Neverhood. And there's just all these weird clay characters, and it's like kind of violent and gruesome at times, but it's also really wholesome and cute on the surface. And there's this other planet called Idznak, where all these skull monkeys live, and they're just monkeys, but they have skulls for heads, you know. And they're all just insane, and so these two civilizations are on different planets, but somehow they kind of like cross paths here and there. And it's just a platforming game at the end of the day, but it's so creative with the world that was built. And nobody knows about it. No one ever talks about it. And it just kind of came and went. And if you saw it when it came out, then you know about it. But if you weren't aware of it in that short little window, it's gone. You know, you might never hear about it. So that's one that's like super underrated and creative that always comes to mind for me. Skull Monkeys, God, PS1 is just so full of them.
Yeah. You did a video on Skull Monkeys, didn't you?
What's that?
You had a Skull Monkeys on one of your videos, didn't you?
Probably, yeah. I think I might have briefly mentioned it in one.
I think so.
I've been trying to do like a whole Neverhood video that I just haven't gotten around to yet, because there's really several games. There's the original Neverhood that was on PC, and then there's Skull Monkeys, which was actually a sequel to it. And then there's this other game that he made called Boombots. That was an arena game that was back to polygons, but the cutscenes were all still clay and silly. And Clayman from Skull Monkeys is in Boombots, so it's kind of in universe, kind of not. And so there's those three games that are sort of loosely related.
That's weird. Boombots, for whatever reason, when you said that, like fired off some neurons in my brain, and I can't figure out exactly why.
You probably are in the process of unlocking a memory right now.
Yeah, it looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, I need to look it up.
It's not particularly good, unfortunately. Like it's an arena fighting game, you know, 3D fighting game where you kind of run around and shoot stuff at each other, and it's fun, like with a buddy, you know, with some beers or something. But the real joy is the cutscenes in between the levels, and just the silly jokes and just the stuff that the characters get into together, and just how absurd it all is. I've always been a fan of claymation and stop motion animation and stuff. So to see someone base a game around it was, you know, still to this day, you rarely see anything like that. So that whole world, that little Neverhood world is something I've always admired for just how underrated, underappreciated, and yet so amazing it is.
Very cool. Inubas says the sequel for, sorry, Jess, and I'll get back to this. The sequel for Skull Monkeys is a point and click. I got it somewhere. Or was the original the point and click?
The Neverhood, the original, that's point and click.
Okay.
That was on Windows, I think 98.
It's 95 or 98.
Yeah, it might have been 95. I don't remember, but it runs on XP, I believe. So if you have one of those lying around, it might work. But that's one, and then Skull Monkeys was the sequel to it that he made a little more commercial, because it's a side-scrolling platforming game, but with the same characters and the same world. So it's a little more of like an attempt at being more digestible for a wider audience.
Yeah.
But it just didn't land, you know. But it had some money behind it. They had like the DreamWorks game division behind it, which I think had like Steven Spielberg money at some level was involved in that. So they had some real money behind it to really bring the vision to life. And they definitely did. You know, they took a big swing, and I appreciate that, you know, even though it didn't really hit, I guess, commercially speaking, but creatively, I would argue it definitely hit. It was a home run.
Cool.
It's one of those I always saw when I was working at EB Games back in the day. Like like the box art is very, it's stuck in my brain.
Yep.
Oh, Skull Monkeys?
Yes.
Yeah, it has
Sorry.
one of those holographic ones where you turn it and the image changes, I think.
Yeah. I think so. It's just that big old skull.
Yeah. His eyeball moves, I think, if you turn the
okay.
case, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Jess, did I cut you off a second ago? I thought I heard. No.
No.
Oh, okay. Wanted to make sure I didn't. But with that, we're getting here close to our end time here. So, Jack, what are you going to be doing this week?
Well, this weekend I'm going to a volleyball tournament. My daughter's got a volleyball tournament, so it's going to be a full weekend of that and travel and fun there. And I'm going to watch a lot of basketball. So, also gaming related though. For whatever reason, my flight back today, I decided to start playing Final Fantasy V again, and I made it.
Why that one?
It was on the Steam Deck, and I was just like, yeah, sure, why not? And I've tried starting it 4 different times and not really gotten past the first dungeon just because just grinding / just entry. But now I finally got to the part where I could pick jobs for everybody, and now I'm just like, all right, here we go. Like this is gonna be amazing. So
you like the PS1 era? Like, do you like JRPGs from like the olden days? Right?
I like the Super Nintendo era JRPGs much more than the PS ones. Although the PS1 era are still good.
Right. Okay. Cool. Good to know.
But yeah, give me Dragon Quest or Final Fantasy through 6. I'm happy.
Okay.
Such a mean cutoff. Mean cutoff.
You should open up to some of the PS1 JRPGs.
I think some of them are great, like Wild Arms, Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah, Wild Arms is fantastic.
Final
Vagrant
Fantasy
Story.
9.
Cool.
Yeah, Vagrant Story is great. Like there are some really good ones. Just I've got a soft spot for the 16-bit era.
No, I in all seriousness, I feel you there. I get you. I get you with that. And Jess, how about you?
Well, hopefully my car doesn't end up burning too much of a hole in my pocket when I figure out what's going on with that. But otherwise, just kind of more of the same. In gaming news, I had spring break this week. Didn't end up being much of a break. But I was like, I'm going to play something. And it ended up being, I picked up Animal Crossing New Horizons again.
Cool.
Because it's been like a couple years, I think, since I've like really gotten back into it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is nice because it's the perfect, like, there's just enough stuff to do every single day without, like, time traveling. That, like, it's a nice little break, but it doesn't take up too much time when I should be doing other things that are due.
Exactly.
So that's been a nice little...
You can dip in and out of it kind of easily.
Yeah.
Games like that are super valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Logan, what about you?
So I'm going to be on a film set on Friday out in Wichita, which is going to be fun. Shooting a Western.
Cool.
Yep. And then I'm also planning on going to see Hail Mary in IMAX.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm so excited for that.
Which IMAX you going to?
The Wichita one.
Yeah.
Which they have a massive IMAX.
They
I had
do.
no idea that at one time it was the largest IMAX screen in the country. I'm like, that's insane for Wichita.
Since I moved away for a while, I don't really know, but like when we were growing up, Wichita was like the place in the area to see movies.
Yeah, like the
not even
service
close.
isn't as good as it was since the theater sold to Regal, but the buildings and the facilities are still just as good as they were. They just haven't upgraded since then. But,
Nice.
Like, it's so good.
I wonder what it is about Wichita that attracts that sort of...
Well,
They had a guy that was real passionate about movie theaters that like built his own movie theater chain there.
It was like THX certified before anything anywhere close was THX certified. And it was like, I mean, people would travel from a nice...
Bill Warren put a lot of his money into his movie theaters.
Yep.
Cool.
They were really awesome. Really
Let me ask
awesome.
you, Logan, what are you doing on the film? What's your role in the film?
Yeah, fairly certain I'm just going to be on G&E this time. I just...
On what?
Grip and electric, basically.
Okay.
Lighting and equipment type stuff. Last weekend I was VFX supervising, but this weekend I'm just kind of helping out. There's not a lot of VFX on this project.
Will you be credited at least?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it should
good.
be.
Yeah, get your name in there for sure.
That's awesome. I love that you're doing that, Logan. And
Yeah, it's fun.
Johnny, What are you gonna be doing this week? Maybe decompressing from the trip?
Yeah, I'd like to reset my brain finally and just have nothing to do for a short period of time. That'd be fantastic. If I could just sit and be quiet and just stare at a wall for like 3 hours.
Oh my God.
Fantastic.
I feel you.
I know
Or
exactly
sit
that
on the
feeling.
back porch. I know, Jess, y'all are dealing with like the crazy hotness out there. I got snow yesterday. We got snow and rain. And then and of course I had, from Phoenix, it was 97. I come here, it's 4 hours ahead of time and it's snowing. And my brain just doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
What's going
And so
on?
Yeah.
it'd be just great if I could just sit and just chill and maybe, I don't know, just do nothing. Really, nothing sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Just to do just go back to baseline, whatever that is. Just find a new baseline
That sounds awesome.
and just do nothing maybe.
Yeah.
But after that, I have a new OLED TV I got recently. I got the Bravia 8.
Nice.
And I've been
Beautimus.
slowly but surely kind of going through some of my favorite movies and experiencing them.
Oh yeah, that's so much fun when you get a new TV to go through like
Yes.
favorite. Yeah.
I know, right? Especially like a really nice one, like an OLED like this. I've never owned an OLED. I've always owned like pretty good mini LEDs and stuff, but I've never owned one that's like truly like
Oh, welcome to the
Wow.
party.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Because the
and,
blacks are so
recently
rich
I watched
on the TV. They're so rich.
Yeah.
The colors.
yes, and the contrast obviously, and that contrast lets you see more detail. So I watched Braveheart recently on there, and that's from '97 or something, and it was fantastic. I had such a blast watching this
Oh, it's
old movie on there.
So cool.
So I want to watch something, like maybe what's that movie? Annihilation. One of
Yeah.
these cool newer movies that I like. I want to watch something like that on there, and
That's so
maybe
cool. That'll be
The
fun.
Revenant, one of my favorite movies ever. I want to watch that on there.
Nice.
So I might,
Nice.
if I can, after chilling out a little bit and I'm ready for something, I might watch one of these, visually striking movies on there and get a little bit of that in.
Cool. Yeah, a lot of those transfers, some of them aren't so great, but some of the older ones are really good. Like the more recent Jaws transfer is really amazing. Like it's so much
Interesting.
better than any of the transfers that had been in existence. There's a
That would
particular
not have occurred to me. Jaws. Okay.
there's a particular Halloween transfer that the Dean Cundy, the cinematographer, oversaw. That's really good, and then the other ones are awful.
The OG Halloween?
Yeah,
Okay.
they basically because they when they released it many times they would up the saturation because it was originally shot very desaturated because they shot it in Pasadena with all green everything. It's supposed to be in the Midwest in fall, and so they kept ruining it every time they'd release it. And they finally had Dean Cundy, like the actual cinematographer, go back and recolor and make it how it's supposed to be. So that one's a
I
pretty
wonder
nice
what
one
John
too.
Carpenter feels. I wonder how he feels about that. I,
I
bet
think he
he's
hates
not
everything.
in favor of that.
I think he hates everything.
Yeah.
Unless he gets a check, is what he kind of usually says.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Good for him.
I mean,
But-
he did just have his new game come out, Toxic Commando.
Oh, did that come out?
Yeah, it came out.
I love that he's a gamer
Well,
though.
hell. I got to play that. Yeah, I know. I love when he talks about Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yep.
I'm like, me and him are probably friends. We just don't know it.
Oh yeah, no, I love John Carpenter. Right, that was the first at SC. They have like signatures of like all the alums and stuff. He was the first one I sought out to find because
Nice.
I just thought that was cool. But
Yeah.
this was so much fun, Johnny. Thank you so much for being on the
Yeah,
show
thanks for
tonight.
coming back, man.
I mean,
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Jack,
this
I
is-
want to get you on my show too. We can talk some turbo.
Anytime, man. Would love
Or
to.
Jess and Logan. I'm not sure what your comfortability in that topic is, but you guys are welcome to come on as well and talk turbo.
No, I
They're
don't know
great.
anything, but we'll see if we can make some stuff happen. I might have to
You should do it. You should do it.
track one down.
Oh, they're great folks. They're great folks.
Cool.
For me this week, I'm going to hopefully I'm really close to finishing the GameCube video. I've kind of put more into it than I've put into the other ones. And the scope changed pretty significantly as I did it. But I'm
That'll
pretty
happen. Yep.
I'm pretty happy with it as it's gone so far. So we'll see what you all think. But with that said, thank you for listening to the game show, and we'll see you same time next week.